Hey guys, John V here from PhoneArena. Right now you're watching our video review of the Lenovo IdeaPad Yoga 11. It's available right now, and on the average this guy retails for $600. And I know what you're thinking, it's a little bit up there in terms of pricing for a Windows RT tablet, but has a very unique thing going for it that other Windows RT tablets don't have. You have the convertible aspect, so you have a full-size QWERTY keyboard. You go from this laptop mode to tent mode and all the way down to tablet mode, so it's quite versatile in many ways. So we're going to find out whether not it's going to be a decent solution for you. Obviously, the coolest part about the Lenovo IdeaPad Yoga 11 is just its convertible aspect. It's very unique amongst all other tablets out there. It's one part laptop, another part tablet, and something in between as well. Its design's very nice. We definitely like the clean finish on the front and the back. It has this soft touch matte finish all over, so it gives it a nice clean appearance. As far as the build quality, it's great. It's super sturdy, soundly constructed, but it is rather heavy and also thick compared to some of the other Windows RT tablets, but then again, it is packing a full-size QWERTY keyboard. So here's the first open position with the Yoga 11. It's actually laptop mode, so just like a laptop, it's angled. The screen itself, you have your full QWERTY keyboard, so if you're used to that, you can go with this one. From the laptop mode, we could actually change the position to tablet mode. So basically you flip over the screen like so, and it just closes up like that. So it's basically like any other tablet out there on the market. But like we said, it is rather thick compared to some of the other ones, and it is rather weighty. So you definitely need two hands to hold it. It's kind of weird at first just because you have the keyboard in the back, so you're kind of feeling that. But luckily, it's disabled when you have it in this mode. The next mode that's available with the Yoga 11's tent mode. So basically, from the laptop position, you can just fold it halfway so it looks like a tent. And it's a great way for actually presenting something on the display itself. And finally, you have this last position where it's great for actually watching videos. So you lay the keyboard side down and you can actually prop up the display up and down so you get a good visibility on what you're watching. Below the display and flush to the surface, you have the physical start button right there. It's kind of difficult to make out with your finger, but luckily it has a good response. Meanwhile, on the opposite side, we find the tablet's sole camera. It's a front-facing 1 megapixel camera which has the ability to shoot 720p videos. Along one side of the Yoga 11, you have the proprietary charging port right here. You have a full-size SD card slot, one of the USB 2.0 ports. Further down, we have one of the speaker grills, and finally, you have an orientation lock button. Along the front edge, we have just the dedicated power button. Unfortunately, it's a little bit flat to the touch, and responsiveness is not the greatest. Nearby that, you have the LED light to indicate that it's getting a charge. On the final edge of the tablet, we have a volume control right here. You have the other speaker grill. Further down, you have a full-size HDMI output for quick and easy video out functionality. Yet another USB 2.0 port and the 3.5mm headset jack. As for the keyboard itself, it does take a little bit of time getting used to the slightly more cramped layout of it. Most people are probably typical of using a larger size laptop, so with the 11-inch screen, kind of limited with the real estate, but luckily the buttons themselves, they're raised, they have a good tactile feel. It's a lot of travel, which is great. It doesn't have any backlighting, so if you're in a dark room, it's going to be a little bit difficult to actually make out the keys, but luckily, after some practice, we didn't have much of an issue and we're able to type relatively quickly and easily. So this features an 11.6-inch display with a resolution of 1366 by 768, and quite frankly, that's the resolution we typically find with pretty much all the Windows RT tablets out there. So nothing really high res, and it really shows, especially in the browser. It's going to be decent enough for things like surfing the web. Of course, in landscape, it's not that much of a problem. We have a very good detail. We're able to make out the text right there, but if you use it in portrait, it could be a little bit more squished, so details tend to be lacking that sharpness that we like, but it's nothing that pinch zooming could fix really quick for you. Beyond that though, as far as the color reproduction, we definitely like its punchy color tones. It definitely stands out for that. Might be a little bit on the saturated side, but definitely gives it some vibrancy. It has 350 nits of brightness, which is decent, but still in outdoor usage, you're going to have to shield it away from the sun. If there's one thing we know about Windows RT and the new platform from Microsoft, it has to be consistency, just because with the Yoga 11, it doesn't deviate from any of the other Windows RT tablets we've checked out. It's actually the same exact experience. Nothing really setting it apart from anything else out there. You have the start screen here with the live tile. You could quickly multitask by swiping. You could have those windows going on if you want to as well, which is pretty useful. But the biggest drawback, of course, with Windows RT is that it's lacking the legacy legacy support for older software. So if you plan on using older software meant to work with Windows 7, you won't be able to do that here. But regardless of that, you still have the Windows Store that has a host of new applications that are available. And on top of that, Lenovo doesn't really add too much bloatware with this guy. The only things that we find out of the box are apps like eBay, EverTouch Note, and that's pretty much it. It does come included with Microsoft Office 2013 RT, so as far as productivity, you're pretty much a go out of the box. Again, there's no surprises in what's powering the Yoga 11. It's actually the quad-core NVIDIA Tegra 3 processor with 2 GB of RAM. And honestly, for most operations, like navigating across the start screen here, relatively quick and smooth, a nice amount of fluidity with its operation. But when you try to do a lot of multitasking, especially when you have the split screen view going on, and you're constantly doing a lot of multitasking, or just have a lot of apps running in the background, it tends to slow it down. And we do notice just some choppiness every now and then, but it's never to the point frustrating. As I mentioned already, the Yoga 11 is pretty much a stock Windows RT tablet, so not that much bloatware. So when it comes to the core organizer apps, nothing different about them. So whether you use the calculator, the calendar, the mail applications, it's pretty much the same layout that we find on any other Windows RT tablet. Surfing the web is pretty much a joy on any Windows RT tablet, and the same can be said about the Yoga 11 here. It's able to load up complex pages in a relatively quick fashion. And on top of that, when it comes to its navigational controls like pinch zooming and kinetic scrolling, there's just a lot of nice fluidity with it, and it rarely lags. Of course, the music player doesn't really deviate from what we're accustomed to seeing already. It relies on the modern UI of Windows RT here. As far as the audio quality with its speaker, we gotta say it's rather weak in overall output, but luckily it doesn't crackle or strain at the loudest volume setting. With its modest hardware specs, the Lenovo IdeaPad Yoga 11 handles 1080p videos no problems at all. On top of that, it has a wide array of codec support out of the box. So MPEG-4, DivX, XVID, and even H.264 all will work with no issues at all. And you can tell the performance is pretty much steady with it. As I mentioned already, there's only one camera on the Yoga 11. It's a front-facing 1 megapixel camera, and that's primarily reserved for video chat, just because for self-portraits, the quality is not going to be that great. It's going to be grainy, to say the least. If you're looking for an all-day device, the Yoga 11 fits the bill definitely, just because in our usage, it's able to easily provide us 1 day of normal usage, and we set the brightness to its middle setting, and at no point did we have to recharge it. Though if you're going to be a power user, you'll get by at 8 hours of heavy usage, but something you're going to probably want to charge every night. Currently, the Lenovo IdeaPad Yoga 11 is retailing on the average for $600, and that's for the 64GB Wi-Fi version. Now, it's definitely on the expensive side compared to some of the other Windows RT tablets out there, but then again, you're getting the advantage of having a full-size QWERTY keyboard, and you have that versatility of it being very similar to a netbook. It's very compact, but for a tablet, it's rather heavy and large, but you have the added benefit of a physical keyboard, so if you're going to be doing a lot of word processing, you're going to get a great experience with this guy. On top of that, longevity with its battery life. And unlike some of the other tablets out there, like the Windows RT tablets, the Yoga 11 benefits with a wide array of different ports that are typically found with a laptop. So you have USB ports, you're going to have a full-size SD card slot, and an HDMI out port. So a lot of versatility with this guy. If you have the money, definitely something you want to check out just because it's pretty neat and cool compared to the other things out there. So if you'd like to learn more about the Lenovo IdeaPad Yoga 11, guys, you can check out our website, PhoneArena.com. This is John V. Thanks for watching.